in, I was overwhelmed with joy to see so many of you. My name is Angelique Feaster Evans, and I have been blessed to be an adjunct professor here in the Allied Health Professions program for the phlebotomy clinicals program. Hello. I will be walking around because I like to connect with everyone in the space, but I'd like to start out with an opening mantra that simply says, I accept the challenge to be the best that I can be, spiritually, mentally, and physically. As I observe my mentors and follow their lead, I will continue to absorb knowledge and expand my personality. I will believe in myself and remain positive thinking, for it is up to me to work and make my dreams come true. And if I will follow these things with faith and conviction, success will surely follow me my whole life through. And that's why you all are here today, for our very first Student Success Series for the spring 2014 semester. As I said, I'm Angelique Feaster Evans. We can switch it. And the work that I do is that I work with individuals, artists, creatives, and entrepreneurs. And I help them to shine in business and in life by spotlighting their purpose, their passion, and their power. And so today, I would like to work with you all. I'm giving you some success tips, some shining success tips for college. Now, how many of you are first-time college students? Show of hands. How many of you are, you can switch it. How many of you are first-generation college students? You're the first in your family to go to college. How many of you are non-traditional students? You're a little bit older than the typical right out of high school. Good. And how many of you are returning students? Good. So we had a whole lot returning students, like you were here last semester and this year. Yeah, great. Good. So you're a returning student. Wonderful. Well, you're exactly in the place to be. I want to share with you that I was just like you. When I first started college, I was puzzled. I was kind of unsure, didn't quite know what to expect. I was a first-time student. I was the first person in my generation to actually go to college and finish. I was a teen mom, and I was a brilliant individual, but I had questions. It's a totally different, it's a totally different experience once we go to the college level. Wondering if only I knew what to expect, what people expected of me. How do I approach my professors when I have a question or I need assistance? Or questioning like, what is the best way to communicate with others on campus? Whether it's my professor, whether it's faculty, whether it's my peers. Well, today I have some shining success tips that are going to show you just that. We have 4 things. But when I was going through all those questions, I realized that we're all born to shine. We were all born with the power to be the stars of our lives. How many of you believe that? You know what? Some of us have been playing the supporting role in our own lives. We've been putting everyone else in front of us. As a mom, we put our children, our significant others, we put everyone else in front of us and where our needs are. But by you being here today, enrolling in college, making a commitment to yourself shows that you are ready and now positioning yourself to be the star of your own life. Can I get a show of hands? And how many of you are ready to shine and be the star in your life? Great. Well, everything you need to be a shining success is within you. Your gifts, your talents, your determination, your motivation, all of that is already within you. Some of us, we just have to rise it up and bring it out and let it come to the top. But here's the deal. Our star will only shine as bright as we will let it. How many of you believe that? Great. Well, here are the tips that I have for you that will show you how to be the shining star in your life. Because if I can do it, you can do it. And I put that picture in the center with the graduation caps and gowns because that is our end goal, right? That's our end goal. So whether we're studying in class, whether we're talking with our professors, whether we are in class and having hands-on interaction, taking notes, being studious, there are some key things that you're going to need. First, be able to communicate with confidence. Second, take the time to talk to your instructors. Not when it's getting tight and the grades aren't looking too good near the end, but early on. Maintain your motivation. At first, at the beginning of a new semester of the school year, we're excited, we're gung-ho, we're motivated, and then sometimes that motivation wanes. Well, I have some tips to share with you how to maintain your motivation throughout the semester, throughout the school year. And lastly, but certainly not least, seek success solutions. There are going to be things that you may need answers to that you don't have the answers. You have questions that you don't have the answers to. Your classmates may not have the answers to. But we need to be able to seek success solutions. Next slide, please. So when you communicate with confidence, you have to be a positive communicator. And what that means is you have to show up and shine to the best of your ability. That starts with knowing what type of communicator you are. There are 4 types of communicators. You can be a passive communicator. Just whatever you say, that's fine. Well, you know better than I do. You're just kind of going along to get along. You can be an aggressive communicator. Someone who it's my way or the highway. I got the answer. You don't have the answer. So, are we going to go with my suggestion or what? I think you should go with my suggestion. That's the aggressive part. Do we have any aggressive communicators up in here? Be honest. Raise your hand. Okay. See, that's cool because when you know your communication style, then you can make the adjustment to use that aggressiveness and frame it in a positive way. The third style of communication is passive aggression. It's like that person who's just kind of going along to get along, but deep inside, they really resent being bossed around, being told what to do. So they're bubbling over with kind of anger and hostility, but on the outside, they look just kind of cool as a cucumber. Passive aggressive people can tend to be some of your most dangerous communicators. because when they explode, it is over, okay? You don't know what may come out of their mouth. So if you happen to be a passive aggressive person, again, the goal is to communicate with confidence and to be positive in your communication. So find ways that you can be able to express yourself without holding it all in. The last communication style is assertive communication. I like assertive communication because that's where we're looking for that win-win solution. We're looking for a way that everybody's voice can be heard. And assertive communication is very important when you're working in groups because sometimes you will be paired off. And sometimes it's not just in class. And so you have to be able to know how to embrace and engage with all people who may have differing opinions than your own. Express to impress. We all have heard of that phrase that first impressions are lasting impressions. Exactly. So when you're communicating, especially with your professor, especially if you're going in for that one-on-one meeting, you want to make certain that you are expressing yourself in a way that is being impressive. And not going in real mad and hot after you've gotten this failing grade on this midterm exam. And you want to tell your professor a piece of your mind. So you go in there, more of an aggressive communicator, and guess what? What type of impression do you think you're leaving to your professor? Anyone? A terrible impression. Now, granted, the professor should not hold that experience, that big outburst against you, but we are human too. Now, that little bookmark may come up every now and then when we get your name, see your name, but we have to put that to the side because it's not about that. But you have to be able to make the right impression at the onset. Be confident in and out of the classroom. People, don't just show up. I'm present. I'm accounted for. Okay. What time? Man, I'm ready to eat. I wish this lady would sit down because I'm ready to go on to my next class. Give me a bite to eat. You have to show up and you have to shine. You just can't come to class and just be there. Get involved. If there's a club or an organization that's associated with your major area of study, get involved in it. If there's an opportunity for leadership, get involved. Be prepared. Know what is expected of you at every class session. Your syllabus, that's your Bible. It tells you everything that you're going to need. You'll know what you're going to be studying from one session to the next. You'll know when assignments are due, what the grading scale is, how many absences can you miss. You know, we tend to have select memory as students. Okay, if I can miss 6 classes before I fail. In your mind, you're like, okay, oh, well, I've only missed 2. But in reality, you've missed 5. And so you got that one that you kind of lying in jeopardy with, but in your mind, you're thinking you have 4 more left. Take that responsibility if you find that you're going to miss class. And if you miss, jot that information down. Put it in your calendar so that you can maintain that level of responsibility for yourself. Develop healthy habits on and offline. How many of you are really good with social media? Facebook, anybody? Instagram, Twitter, whatever? You know, that can be the death of you in the professional world. But you know how when you get hot and mad at somebody and you're ranting? In your relationships, I'm in a relationship, it's complicated, divorce, are we back together again? You know what we said? What I said last week about my friend, I didn't mean that. But guess what? Businesses now do social media background checks. Just like they do background checks, fingerprinting and so forth, they're checking your social media habits. So be mindful of that. Uh-oh. Am I speaking to somebody? Be mindful of that as we move forward. So, be careful of how you do your communications on and offline. When you're talking with your professors online, understand, especially if it's an online class, they don't know what you look like. They don't probably even remember what class it is that you're contacting them about. Give them as much detailed information when you're communicating online. And that way they can best serve you, right? Next. Take the time to talk to your instructors. How many of you have already kind of made connections outside of the classroom with your instructors? Anyone? Cool. Here it is. Call them by their name, by their title. If you don't know, you can kindly ask. Oftentimes on the syllabus, if it has their name and a few initials behind it, PhD means doctor. If you can't pronounce their name, their last name, maybe it's Dr. Angelique or Dr. Feaster Evans. I'm working on mine. I'm speaking into existence. You know, we were talking about that motivation. Yeah, I have the master's, but Dr. Burroughs. Maybe you don't know how to pronounce Dr. Burroughs. Burroughs. Is it Burroughs? Is it Burroughs? What is it? How about just ask? Then you'll know the answer. Be prepared with a purpose when you go to talk in a one-on-one meeting with your instructor. Have the questions that you have them written down. Okay? If there's a purpose for this meeting, you know that your goal is to ask for a letter of recommendation. You need to write that down. Because the worst thing that can happen is after your meeting, oh man, I meant to ask him for that letter. I meant to turn it in on Friday. Man, I have to wait until next Tuesday before I can meet with him. But if you write it down ahead of time, you're prepared and you have a purpose. You're going to set your goals. You're going to take notes. Please bring a pen and some paper because your instructor, your professor may have some very good information for you. If you're struggling in a class, there may be some resource materials, a website, a book, something that can help you. But if you come in, oh, Dr. Burroughs, can I borrow a piece of paper or pen? What kind of impression do you think that's leaving? Come prepared. Be open and honest with your instructor. Don't lie. Don't go in there. You already know you're going to miss class the weekend leading up to Freaknik in Atlanta. But you're going to say, you know, my relative is real sick in Atlanta, and I just really wanted to kind of let you know in advance. But then you're on social media, doing whatever, sending pictures, Instagramming, Facebooking, telling us where you are. What type of impression do you think that's making for your instructor? Because you never know which of your friends that may also be a friend with your professor. And maybe they're kind of commenting, and so your friends commented on your picture in Atlanta, turning it up. And then your professor happens to get it because they're friends, you all have mutual friends. Be open and honest. If you're struggling, tell the truth, and tell the truth early on so that we can be able to help and support you. Be proactive and professional when you're talking with your instructor. I kind of seeded it early on. If you're making a failing grade, and it's a 16-week course, and you walk up in there on week 13 seeking help, it's probably too late. Be early. Go in. As soon as you're seeing that you're not quite getting a concept, be proactive and just lay it out there. Because there may be an opportunity for you to kind of do some tutoring. There may be an opportunity for you to do some extra work to kind of help your grade as best as we can. Be responsible. I keep going back to that syllabus. That is your Bible. Be respectful of your professor. And that means having the right attitude. When we transition from primary school, secondary school into higher education, that's an investment that you are making in your future and in your careers. Because you are no longer being told, okay, be sure to come to class. If you miss a few days, you get a little reminder note or a call home. You know how in high school, if you miss a day or two, it's your responsibility to get that information, right? Not just relying on your peers. Just go to your professor. That's what they're there for, to support you. Okay, next. Maintain your motivation. I had that thinking outside of the box because motivation, it comes in different ways for different people. How many of you are early birds? You like to get up early and get things done. How about night owls? How many of y'all work late in the night? That's your best time. And what about just kind of midday? And how many of you really don't even know what time of day you work best? Come on, let's get honest. Okay. That's cool. So then you have a little bit of flexibility to explore, okay? Set goals for each class. Starting out, set a goal on what grade you want to make. You may not reach it, but at least you have a goal to reach towards. And even with your assignment goals, if there's a research paper, okay, I'm going to do my research by this time. I'm going to have my outline done by this time. I'm going to have my draft done by this time. And that way, it's not catching you at the last minute, having to put it all together. Because, how many of us are procrastinators? We wait to the last minute because that's when we do our best work, right? Well, let's shift that. Let's think out of the box, and let's start just kind of planning out how we're going to reach those big goals. Because how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's right. Don't get overwhelmed. If you see that things are really not coming together for you in all of your classes, don't get overwhelmed. Probably before it's too late to drop, you can look at maybe adjusting your course load. You can look at how you can improve your study habits. Those of you that are morning people, start doing some of your studying and carving out time in the morning. Night owls, the same. Those of you who's like, I really don't know what time works best for me, give it a test run. Stay focused and concentrate. Create you a designated study area. How many of you have your spot in your home where you do all your assignments? Okay, you're reading or whatever. Create that area. Remove distractions, meaning the dog barking, the phone ringing, kid crying. Sometimes you just kind of have to ask, sweetheart, could you take the baby while I go in here and study for 30 minutes? He might look at you crossways, but that's okay. He'll be all right. Okay? I missed on the overwhelm extracurricular activities. You may have to Hold off clubbing. Hold off gaming. Chilling. Because you have a goal that you're trying to reach, and you cannot allow yourself to get overwhelmed. You have to make priorities and cut back. You're going to also have to set your social time. Give yourself time to be online and social media and whatnot, but set a timer. Give yourself 15 minutes at the first part of the day. 15 minutes, I know 15 minutes, baby, because by the time you get to reading the feed, that's 15 minutes there, huh? You can't even look through your page. Give yourself designated times. Because, baby, once you get started, 2 hours would have passed by, and you're Facebooking. Nothing has been accomplished. Finally, set priorities with the end in mind. Address your most important issues of the day. If there are deadlines, if there are phone calls, if there are meetings that you need to take care of on campus or in your professional life, if you have a job, set priorities. Also, with your course for your majors, whatever you need as far as classes, don't just get a blow-off class because you heard it was easy. Sign up for some classes that's going to help you advance in your major area of study, okay? Because that's keeping the end in mind. Next. And finally, seek success solutions. Seek help when you need it. Go to the Success Center. Seek out tutoring. Speak with your advisor. There can be some solutions for you. Foster relationships with your professors. Early on, keep those communication lines open. Set time and social boundaries. Please don't let your friends who are not in school influence you. Man, come on. I know Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to have a good time. Okay, maybe you can watch the Denver Broncos whoop up on the Seattle Seahawks. Maybe you can still do that, but give yourself some time either on Saturday or earlier Sunday to take care of your classwork. Stay determined to succeed. Just like we talked about eating that elephant one bite at a time, you take one class, one semester, one school year at a time to reach your goals. That's how we're going to be able to accomplish that. Do we have any questions at this time? Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
If we want to go back to this, where would we go to?
To this slideshow?
Yes.
I can certainly make it available so that you all can be able to go to check it out.
Okay, well, that would be nice.
Wonderful. Thank you. Also, I asked Irvin, I kind of went over the communication styles. You all were given that quiz. So let me just see. Did everybody fill theirs out? Some of you all did? Did everybody? Yeah? Okay. Let me see the show of hands that section A was your largest group area. You had the most numbers. Your score was the largest in section A. Anybody? What about section B? Okay. What about section C? Any hands in C for C? What about section D? Okay. Wonderful. So we have a whole lot of assertive individuals in here. And you're going to need that type of communication style. Not just in college, but in everyday life. Section A, by the way, that's a passive communicator. Section B is passive aggressive. Section C is aggressive. And section D is assertive, okay? Are there any other questions or comments that I can answer for you at this time?
Is this good or bad?
Section D is good. Like we talked about, it's good to be an assertive person. You're looking for the win-win, the solution, all of that good stuff, right? The win-win, that's right. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay. So I'll make certain that the slide presentation will be available so that you all can have access to it when you get back and seek information. Okay. And we had some role playing. Do we have any actors in here? Anybody who wants to come up and do a little role playing? I thought not. See there? Again, same thing, Ms. Wheeler. Nobody wants to pretend with us.
I will.
You don't pretend? Okay, well, let me do it again. Come on. We'll do you one time. We'll do just one.
I got some.
Five, six, seven, eight.
All morning.
One. Here we go. I'm gonna let you do it.
Can I do my own act?
No.
Okay.
So basically, you just have to raise. We have A and math, A and so you need to go and talk to the person to find out.
All right, you guys. While they get the wheels moving on that, my name is Kirsten Wheeler. I'm the student success coordinator. I'm housed in the Allied Health Building in Building B. All right. If those that have constant, I have a separate role for you guys, but that I would appreciate instead of passing out all her sessions, just fill this one out first and see me after so that you can assign her specific roles. Okay. We also have a drawing real quick. So as this go around, make sure you sign both of these. All right. I'll start this from the back.
In the culinary arts.
The drawing is starting from the back and the roll is coming from the front.
What's your culinary specialty?
Starting over here as well. Roll start here as well. So when you pass it back, just pass it all the way straight back.
Like they cook at the truck. Yeah, I know. Because my cousin lives in California. I think I did that truck like
Maybe go ahead and do okay.
So if you pass the time, we're gonna start this roll here. Just press the time.
I got it mapped out because I was in the situation.
Come up with a solution.
So we have 3 rows with 1 drawing going around. So we'll move the drawing around as quickly as possible. Maybe your initial and your last name or something real quick, so that we can get that ready and have that ready for you guys when they finish their little skit.
Mr. Clark.
All right. First, before we get started, I'm so happy that we have some volunteers, and we have
Melvin Cook.
Mr. Cook and Mr. Clark, and they're going to do a scenario, a role play based on some of the information that we talked about today. All right. Now, I need your help in getting them started. So we're just going to say lights, camera, action, and that'll let them know to go. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. I know we can do better than that. It's a room full of people. Go.
Light, camera, action.
Come in. Yes, Professor Clark, I know I haven't been doing good in your class, sir, and I'm real worried about my grade. I want to know if any kind of way you can help me to get my grade up, or any kind of tutoring you could do for me to get this grade up, or is there anything I could do for extra credit or something to get my grade up, sir?
Well, I have your work right here. I was looking at your work and everything, and like, yeah, scored a D on your last test. So, what I can do for you, I see that you're a good writer. You got a creative mind and everything. So, I have some extra credit for you. You're a hard worker, and I see that you're really trying. we can work on a lot of stuff and, together, like after school tutoring or something like that, I can, office hours, I give you my office hours and stuff like that, and we can work on this thing together if you're willing to do that.
Yes, sir. I sure appreciate that. I'll get right to it.
All right, man. This is a deal.
All right.
That was great.
Right up.
Oh, yeah, he drew it out of He had to do it out of him last year.
But when you playing it out, you're going back to the same place.
You need all the credit extra you can get.
Are we quickly passing around the drawing sheet? There's one sheet that's for the drawing. Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I am. You can get the last one. You can take the last one. I don't have a card, but I do have my information right here. I'd love to stay connected with you all. If there's anything that I can ever do to help support you, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Okay. Because we're just now in the middle.
What did you ask?
G. If your last name starts with the letter G, raise your hand. G picked the letter. Okay. Whichever one is first name, your last name starts
Sound like they wanted to say
whoever's
amen.
name is closest to the letter S. There you go. She's the winner.
All right. Miss Petra, she'll,
For your initials?
she has a prize for you.
If there's nothing else, I want to thank you all for this opportunity. And again, we'll make this information available to you. And here's wishing you shining success this semester. Thank you.
She made a long story short.